Hey everyone! So it's been a while since I've made a non-Game of Thrones video, but I thought it was about time. I've been busy between work and travel and house sitting and all that stuff, but I thought I'd share something exciting that happened in my life with all of you guys. So, 10 days ago, on August 2nd, I got to see this. Yes, so I saw Hamilton at the Private Bank Theater in Chicago, and it was amazing. The musical about Alexander Hamilton, it's rap and hip-hop, and it sounds ridiculous, but somehow is pretty much the most brilliant thing ever. I'm a big fan of the music from Hamilton. I've definitely listened to the soundtrack in my car over and over and over and over and over again. I know most of the words, not every single word, most of the words. And I think it's genius. But I didn't think I was ever going to be able to see it on stage. Or at least not soon. But it happened. And yeah, now it's in LA, which is fairly close to me. So I have the app on my phone. Which I realized, like, where's my phone? I'm going to show you. I'm filming on my phone. I have the app on my phone, and so I can enter the lottery just about every day to try and get those $10 Hamilton tickets. Just opened yesterday, and it'll be in LA until sometime in December. In May, I think it's coming to Orange County. So hopefully I get to see it again, but enough about that. You don't really care. This Hamilton, yeah. So this is gonna be my my review of Hamilton. This is a review for a specific performance. It's not of Hamilton overall, because I already love it, and there's no way I could be even close to objective about how Hamilton is, if it's like its flaws and its greatness, and just there's people who know more about musicals and stuff. I don't know. Anyway, I'm just a mess. I'm a mess talking about this. So, Hamilton. This is the August 2nd performance. It's at the Private Bank Theater in Chicago. This is the little card that they give you in the playbill that says, at this performance. So we didn't have some of the main people in our cast. So like Aaron Burr, he was an understudy. He was played by Carl Clemens Hopkins. Lafayette and Thomas Jefferson was an understudy played by Colby Lewis, and John Lawrence and Philip Hamilton was an understudy, Malik Shabazz Kitchen. I hope I pronounced that right. I'm sorry if I didn't. But everyone did a great job. I just wanted to shout out that like those were everyone else was main cast. Those ones were the understudies. So I don't know how understudies do it, especially looking at the understudy list in the playbill. Like, you can be an understudy for like 4 or 5 different characters. I don't know how they know how to do all of this. That's nuts. Halfway point, when we got to intermission, I was exhausted just from watching them. I don't know how they have the energy to do it night after night and 2 days or 2 times on Saturdays or whatever. It's nuts how much energy they have to have. It's constantly singing very fast. I mean, I would be back, like every time I would leave the stage, I would just be like chugging water because I don't know how they do it. It's exhausting. I mean, I've been in community theater plays, and that's exhausting. I can't even imagine something like this and something with the energy of Hamilton. They were selling 2 programs. They were selling the program from New York, so it has the original cast, and then they were selling the Chicago program. So that was actually pretty cool. So I got the Chicago program, and what I like about it is that there's actually, like, I saw these people. Yeah, and they also have the cool little Chicago flag, Hamilton style, on the back. But I like that I can actually flip through and be like, oh yeah, that's the guy I saw as Hamilton. Who was he? He was Miguel Cervantes. I really liked him. I thought he was good. I thought he was a better singer than he was a rapper, but he had good energy. He was also adorable because he was really short, and especially when you would put him next to the guy who played Washington, Jonathan Kirkland, who was really, really tall, and it was just like, oh, height difference. So it's just cool to flip in, because as much as I love seeing Lin-Manuel Miranda, as Hamilton, like in pictures and stuff, and I would love to see his actual performance one day. Hopefully they release it on DVD or something, I'm just saying. It's also kind of cool to like open it and see Miguel Cervantes. Let's see if I can get a good, yeah, and be like, I saw him, I was there while I was in the room when this happened. Pun that everyone has to make, boom. And then like Washington, like that's the guy I saw play Washington. And it's funny because you really get to know the ensemble as well, because they're on stage so much doing different things. So even looking at the ensemble in these pictures, I'm like, oh yeah, I remember that guy. He was the doctor. He played Samuel Seabury and stuff. This was the Eliza we saw. Her name is Ari Afsar. She was good. She was very cute. I liked her, but I would almost say she seemed a little young, which sounds silly. She seemed very, very happy, and she seemed a little bit too like too excited. Like I just want to be like, okay, take a deep breath, calm down. She's probably is pretty young, but she played Eliza very young, and I felt maybe Eliza's a little bit more mature than that. A little bit more serious or something. I don't know what I'm saying anymore. I'm just rambling on. All the singing was amazing. Like, I don't know how they do it. I don't know how they haven't all lost their voice by the end of the play. Like, my throat would be totally wrecked. It's pretty much wrecked if I'm in my car and I sing along with my shot. Like, that's a long song. That has a lot of energy, and I'm doing all the Hamilton bits. Like, by the end, I'm like, okay, well, I can't sing anymore, or rap, or, well, I can't rap anyway, but you know what I mean. This guy, King George, oh my god, he was freaking hilarious. I loved him. He, just very prim and proper singing, and very exaggerated, terrible English accent, very rolled R's. He was great, and it's great when he comes back in the second act. That little scene when he's so excited about the Adams administration. It was amazing. Another thing, there's just little things that you don't pick up from the CD. So I didn't expect to find Madison hilarious, but I did. Like, he's just constantly holding like a little handkerchief. It almost seems kind of like a blankie, like a security blankie, and he's very like prim and proper, but he's still like, I don't know, there's something about him. It was hilarious, and I didn't even realize he was such a big character. Like, I haven't read through the Hamilton the Revolution book, so sometimes I don't know exactly who is singing when people are singing. But yeah, like that was a shock to me, like how much I liked Madison, because he was just funny. I was also surprised how much of the play overall is on the soundtrack or on the CDs. Like I know it's very long on the soundtrack. It's 2.5 hours, but basically they cut out 30 seconds, maybe a minute of the play. Okay, so I'm a big fan of the musical Rent, and that is also kind of sung the entire way through. There's little bits of talking, but not very much. It's pretty much just goes one song to the other song to the other song to the other song with little bits in between that connect them. And one thing, when I was startled to see when Rent for the first time, because I'd been listening to the CDs, I knew all the words, was totally into it, and then when I saw it on stage, I was like, oh, I don't know all the words, because there's just these little bits. And then, the one I can think of right now, I know there's like a little tiny monologue that Mark does in the beginning, and then right before Tango Maureen, Mark goes, close up on Mark's nosedive, will he get out of it alive, or something like that. It's been so long. I'm sorry, I don't know it better. So I was expecting little things maybe like that in Hamilton, but there really isn't any. The only one that I really, the only one I remember, which I think it might be the only one in the whole play that's not on the soundtrack, is the part where Hamilton finds out about Lawrence towards the end of Act 1. And that's just astonishing to me that they managed to fit everything on the CD. It's crazy. I wasn't expecting it. I was expecting there to be like a little bit more that I didn't know. I'm trying to think what else. Hamilton. Alexander Hamilton. Oh, so I am a fairly emotional person for some things, but I don't tend to break down that much while watching, movies or TV shows, stuff like that. Partially because I avoid sad things, because I'm just not that big of a fan of those. But partially it's just, it's something I've come into more as I've been older, but I've just never liked sad things. Ask me one day about how I reacted to seeing Fox and the Hound for the first time. Ugh. Anyway, the only time. Anyway, so the end of the play, like, I was fine through the whole musical. I was just really enjoying it. I was mouthing the words. I was not singing. I was mouthing, and I was like super into it. I was just riveted on the stage. And when we got to the very end, who lives, who dies, who tells your story, I started to feel it a little bit. And when they came to their bows, I'm like tearing up right now. When they came to do their bows, and everything, like, I actually had tears, like 2 tears, one on each cheek. It was like, and I, like, my throat, like, I wanted to make noise, everyone's clapping and going, woo, woo. I wanted to do that, but I couldn't. My throat was so tight, and I was just like so emotional, and I'm getting emotional talking about it, which is the silliest, but whatever. But yeah, it was an amazing experience. I know this is just kind of me rambling on about Hamilton and how great it is and all that stuff, but if you are a fan of Hamilton and you want to see it on stage, I highly recommend you entering the lottery for whenever it's by you on tour, or if you ever happen to be in Chicago or New York. I mean, I understand that tickets are insanely expensive and really, really hard to get, so I will say that it is worth going to if you have the means to do so. And if you don't worry, because in a few years it will be cheaper. And I know it seems like a really long wait, but I've had to wait for things. Like I've waited for Newsies and Book of Mormon, because sometimes it's like I don't have the money to see it when it comes through on tour the first time. Things are expensive. Like, I remember when Wicked was in LA, it was so much money, but then it left, and when it came back the second time, it was like, it wasn't as huge of a deal, because it had been a few years, and it had calmed down. There was other big ticket items. It was worth it, for sure. Like, the emotions I felt and how amazing the musical is and everything, I would highly recommend going. If you don't really know anything about Hamilton, I would recommend going. I would say it's one of those things where I can see why people maybe wouldn't like it, but I think they're wrong. Which sounds horrible. But I was unsure at first. I'm not a person who really listens to much rap or hip hop and that type of stuff. So when I started listening to it, I was like, I don't know. But it really, like, quickly, as I listened to it and got the story, and the lyrics are so clever, and the more I listened to it, the more I loved it. It was just in my head all the time. So it's one of those things you have to give it a chance. It maybe sounds like something outside of your comfort zone, but I would recommend giving it a chance, listening to the CD, just like sitting there and listening to the music. Don't do anything else. Don't be distracted. Listen to the lyrics. Pay attention to what's happening. Maybe get Hamilton the Revolution or something so you can read the lyrics along, just in case you can't tell what they're saying all the time. because it is the story and the little clever things in the lyrics that are what make it so impressive, and how that story is told. So I don't know. Like I said, I'm just rambling at this point. I'm just so excited that it happened. I can't believe it happened. I'm really hoping that I win the lottery at some point. I mean, I would love to win millions and millions of dollars, but I'd also like to win the Hamilton ticket lottery for LA. So I've already lost, I think, 3 or 4 lotteries now. So sad face, but I still got a few months to try. And I hope that everyone has a great weekend or something. I don't even know what I'm saying anymore. Anyway, make sure to give me a like down below. Leave me some comments telling me how much you love Hamilton and what you thought, if you saw it or if you want to see it or something. I don't know. My last video was a Game of Thrones react. I'll put it over here. My channel is right here, so make sure to subscribe. And you can follow me on Twitter and Instagram and blah, 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 blah. I think that's all. Have a good one, you guys. Bye.